Hi, today on the menu we're making a roasted tomato penne pasta. So what you do need is Roma tomatoes. You're going to need about 10 tomatoes for about 4 people. So I usually cook about 15. So what you do is you take your tomatoes, and you notice here I've sliced them in half, and then you just lay them in your baking tray. Whoops. You do need a food processor. We have garlic. So I usually go, how I judge this is 1 clove of garlic per 1 tomato. So here I have about, I'd say 15 tomatoes cut in half. So I'm going to use about 15 cloves of garlic. I know that's a lot, but it's so delicious. Garlic is really good for you. It has potassium and calcium, vitamin C, iron, vitamin B6, magnesium. It also has an antioxidant called allicin, which is activated by chewing the garlic really well or crushing it. So that allows this compound to get activated. Next, we need fresh basil, preferably. And we want about a cup of packed basil. So if I pack this up really tight, it will be about a cup. So I probably have a little more than a cup. So I'll stick that in my food processor. Put my lid on. And we're going to pulse this to mix it. This in here using my hands. I'm going to mix this a little bit more. Okay, the next step is adding extra virgin olive oil. So I have about 3/4 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil, and I'm going to slowly add that to my mixture as it's running on low. Turn it up a little bit. Good. I'm just going to scrape the edges and mix it a little bit more. Make sure it's all in there evenly. This is a very easy recipe to do. It does take 2 hours in the oven, so you want to make sure you allow yourself enough time for that. Good, that does it. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to my tomatoes. And some salt. Now I'm going to take my mixture, which is, I guess, a little bit of a pesto. And I'm going to pour that over my tomatoes. Try to even it out everywhere. So this is a great dish for a day where you want to take a break from meat. I'm not vegetarian, but I do like to have a few days in the week where we're eating something that has no meat in it. So this is a great one for a Friday night. Okay, so this is going to go in the oven for 2 hours. So I have spread the pesto over the tomatoes. We'll put that in the oven at 325 for 2 hours. So it's been 2 hours. My tomatoes are done. And they should be nice and golden. Okay, I don't know if you can see that there. So the next step for me, be really careful because it's really hot. The next step is I'm going to take 2 serrated knives and I'm just going to kind of bring them over to the center. Then I'm going to chop them up in little pieces. And I didn't mention before that I've been making this recipe now for 22 years. It's one of those recipes that have become a family favorite, and we cook this probably every couple of weeks, to be honest. You know, it's got lots of healthy things. You've got your tomatoes that are high in potassium and fiber and vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin B6, and you've got obviously your heart healthy olive oil there as well. So the next step now is to have your pasta ready. So you're going to need enough penne pasta noodles for 4 people if you have 10 tomatoes. For me, I'm making this for about 6 people, so whatever the measurements would be for that. So that's the next step. So my intention when I cook this penne pasta yesterday was to take it to my cabin, so that's what I've done. So I have the noodles ready to go. So what you do is you place your noodles in with the tomatoes very carefully. Then I'm going to mix it up. Just make sure all the noodles are covered up. So you have 2 choices here. You can either eat this right now as is, but what I like to do is I like to stick it back in the oven for about 10 minutes. And that way all of the tomato mixture gets gets absorbed into the pasta. Now I'm cooking gluten-free pasta today, but you can use any kind of pasta. Or you could use spaghetti squash, you could use spiralized zucchini. So I'm going to stick this back in the oven for about 10 minutes on 350, and then we'll put it together. Okay, it's ready. So next step is to place, obviously, your pasta in your plate. And then we're going to sprinkle the feta cheese, which you would have crumbled beforehand, over the pasta. And there you have it. Roasted penne pasta with a topping of crumbled feta cheese, and it is delicious. Obviously I've been making it for 21 years, so it's been a repeat for us. And a great way to serve something healthy for your family. Again, getting back in the kitchen. It's quite easy to make and quick, and it does take 2 hours in the oven. But you can, if you have the time bake component on your stove, which most people do, you could stick this in, have it start at 3 o'clock to be finished at 5, and then when you get home from work, all you have to do is cook your pasta. I hope you enjoy.